And this has been my kitchen. So we got our chicken, we got our boiled water. You're probably wondering what we're going to be preparing today. And would you believe we are going to be making chicken tetrazzini? Not chicken Tetris, chicken tetrazzini. And to make this, you need an entire package of Plusky egg noodles. You also need about 2 cups of cooked chicken breast. You wouldn't want to add raw chicken breast to that because then nobody would want to eat it. And this boiling water is for our Plusky. So let's add 1 full package, 12 ounces of our egg noodles right into the saucepan. Alright. And then we're going to take this spoon. Since we're working with poultry and other ingredients, we have 2 different spoons for the task. You don't want to reuse the spoon that uses to mix the chicken there for your Plusky. That's why we have a different spoon for that. This is the chicken spoon. And we are going to cook this chicken until it's completely cooked through and through, all the way white, and then we will go to the next step from there. And while we are waiting for this chicken to cook up and for that to cook up, let's go over here to some of our other ingredients and show you what we're going to be adding to this whole mix. When that chicken's done, we're going to set it aside, and we're going to need this skillet to start on our roux. And to make a roux, we will be adding 2 tablespoons of butter. Look at this cow, isn't that cute? That's our butter dish. 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. We're going to need about 15 ounces of peas. You can also use frozen peas if you want to, or you can use fresh peas. It doesn't matter, but fresh is always better. And the same thing goes for mushrooms, but we're using canned mushrooms, and you need about a can of mushrooms, which is about 7 ounces. So we're going to use a can of cooked mushrooms. Give this a stir, make sure that this doesn't take very long to cook up either. Just got to keep a good watch on that. We're also going to need about 2 tablespoons of grated Parmesan cheese. You can once again, you can add fresh cheese. It's always best. And we're going to add some paprika and black pepper to taste. We're also going to add, it wound up here, Old Bay seasoning. And, not to mention, the 2 tablespoons of chicken base, or the equivalent is 2 chicken bouillon cubes. So, we've got our work cut out for us to make chicken tetrazzini. Make sure you don't mix up the spoons. Now, once we're done cooking up the chicken, and after everything is cooked up, and that's cooked up, what we're going to do is, once this is done, we're going to set this chicken to the side, and then we are going to wash this out and return it to the stove, and that's when we're going to make our roux. And we're going to start with the butter. We're going to melt it slowly with the 2 tablespoons of flour, and then we're going to stir in all of our spices, and then once that's nice and, getting made into a roux, we are going to then add our noodles, our chicken, mix all that together, and we're going to cook everything all together. And the last thing we're going to add is the sour cream, and of course the Parmesan cheese. And then we're going to add all of that to this Pyrex baking dish here, and we're going to preheat the oven to 425 degrees, and we're going to cook it for, I want to say, about a half hour, but we'll get to that point when we get there, because right now we are doing the prep work, and it usually takes about a half an hour on average to prep chicken tetrazzini. There, this Klusky is cooking up nicely, and this chicken is cooking up nicely. Look how white that's turning and so far. And the reason why it's releasing so much water is because I had to have this soaking, and I rinsed it quite a few times as well, and that's a lot of the water there mixed in with chicken juices as it's being cooked, and we're going to just drain all of that away. We don't want any of that in our chicken tetrazzini. But it's going to be good stuff though once it's all done. Okay, let's let that cook up a bit more and make sure that I have everything in check. 2 tablespoons of flour, 1 whole package of Klusky noodles, about 2 cups of chopped diced chicken breast, and we got 2 tablespoons of butter. We're going to add all of our seasonings to taste, so it's going to be Old Bay, ground black pepper, and paprika to taste, and usually about 1/8 of a teaspoon would be a safe bet. Okay, that's cooking up nicely. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit so we don't boil over. There we go. And that one's cooking up nicely. Then we give it a good stir. And then of course we're going to add 2 tablespoons of sour cream and the 15 ounces of peas and the 7 ounces of mushroom. We're also going to add 2 tablespoons of chicken bouillon or chicken base. If you happen to have chicken base, then use that by all means. This is going to be a very chicken dish. Oh yeah, that's good. Give it a little stir around. It's definitely cooked through and through. We're going to take all of our chicken and slide it off into our vessel here. And then we're going to rinse out our skillet and bring it back and work on the rest of the stuff. So, alright, rinse the spoon. 5-second rule does not apply in the kitchen. I'm sorry, but it does not. Anyway, we're going to take 2 tablespoons of butter, which is all the butter that we got left. Happens to be 2 tablespoons. Alright, going to set our cow-shaped butter dish aside. We're going to turn the fire on a bit. And then while your butter is melting, we're going to get in here and get our 2 tablespoons of flour. And 2 tablespoons of flour. Okay, close that back up again and we're done. Now, take our spoon. I'm going to mix this all together and make it into like a one solid clump. Notice how it's clumping up with the butter there. And that's going to be how we get our roux started. It basically is a makeshift, like it's basically a base that we're making, and then we're turning that base back into liquid form. There we go. That's the start of our roux right there. And we are needing our spices. Let's add our spices next. I'm going to add some Old Bay right on top of that roux there. That's about enough. Some black pepper and just a little dash out of this thing because this thing comes out like crazy. That'll do. A little paprika. Okay. And continuing to stir this roux. Nice and seasoned roux. Make sure you get all those seasonings mixed together with your flour, your butter. There we go. Scrape a little bit over there, scrape a little bit over there. Get all of that stuff mixed together. Okay, there we go. There's our seasoned roux. Alright, now we can put our seasonings back. Put our Old Bay and our paprika away. Black pepper goes over here. Alright, now. Okay, we've got our roux. Okay, now once we got our base ready, lined up, what we're going to add is 1 cup of water and 1.5 cups of milk. And since it's already blended together, I've already just put both liquids together in one measurement. To really stir this in really good, get this to thin back out again. Of course, if anything clumps up in the spoon, you got to really knock it like crazy to get it off of there. But after A bit of stirring, you'll notice that your milk and water combination is now starting to break up that roux just nicely, and it's going to become a liquid form. Okay, now make sure you get any of the leftover concoction here from out the outer side of the edges there. There we go. And you know what? That's not coming off yet. So just grab your tablespoon there and just kind of scrape the rest of that off there so it can break down. There we go. There we go. Now we're starting to liquidify.
Liquidify.
Liquidify. And while we're doing that, with this other hand, I'm going to check our Kluski. That's coming up nicely. In fact, I think that Kluski is Dunsky. Turn off the fire and let it just sit there in that water for a moment. Okay, now you want to keep this on a medium heat and then let this boil up, and then it should thicken just slightly. And then while we're waiting for that to boil up, let's take our Kluski over here and drain it. Okay, now after this starts to thicken up a little bit, and it's already starting to thicken, as you can see. It's already starting to thicken up a little bit. Let's wait for it to boil up. So you're looking at about 10 minutes of boiling time, and I'm going to add the rest of that there. I'm going to rinse this out. Alright. So we're looking at about 10 minutes of boiling time, and for about I want to say 10 minutes on your Kluski, so it's a 10-10 win-win chicken dinner situation. Alright, then once that is boiling up, then what we're going to do is we're going to add 2 tablespoons of sour cream. You can substitute it for plain white yogurt if you want to, too, if you want to get that extra sweet in flavor. But we're looking for a nice cream. And to your Tetrazzini, the creamier it is, the better. And basically what we're working on is our sauce first. Everything's going to combine together, and then we're going to bake it for about a half an hour at 425 to 430 degrees, preferably 425. 425 degrees Fahrenheit, we're going to be cooking it for approximately 15, maybe 20 minutes. Might even not even take 30 minutes, but it all depends on how hot your oven is, and you just have to really watch it. So for the first 15 minutes, you kind of want to take a look at it and see how well it's coming along. And since everything's getting pre-cooked beforehand, you probably only need to put it in there for 15. So all we're going to do is just bake everything together so that way it melts. And the only way to do that is baking it. Now we're getting a nice boil. So we're going to go ahead and let's see, that's already cooked. Okay, that's already well cooked anyway. So what we're going to do is, instead of adding it to this, we're going to add it to our Pyrex dish. We're going to add everything all together. So, but we could, if you want to, add it here, and then everything will be already stirred, and once you pour it into the Pyrex, everything will be all combined. So you can do it either way. I mean, there's no real instructions on how to layer a chicken tetrazzini because everything's going to be baked together anyhow. First things first, we'll start with our tetrazzini. I'm going to borrow this for a moment and place our Kluski noodles right into the Pyrex pan. And we're going to take our spoon and sort of kind of even out all the noodle here. There we go. And you can mix it, you can layer it, you can do whatever you want to do. And that's boiling up really, really good. That's really starting to thicken up. So, let's go ahead and add our mushrooms and our peas. Alright. Now we're just going to mix that into our sauce. And when it's done, we're going to pour it over those noodles.
Might want to add more flour to that. What do you think?
No, that's fine. All it takes is 2 tablespoons, 2 rounded tablespoons, because it's thick enough already, and it'll thicken up even more when it's baked. But okay. You know, it's okay. You know, if you want it a little runny. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, that's what usually good Alfredo sauce is. You want it to be a little runny too. But this isn't Alfredo. This is a it's sort of the same consistency as Alfredo, but it's not going to be as, thick as a gravy or anything. It's going to be basically a sauce. Okay, we're going to get rid of these. And don't forget to add your 2 tablespoons of chicken bouillon or chicken base. And we're just going to add that right to our roux here and make it taste just like chicken. And we're going to mix everything together. So throw your vegetables in there and then a little bit more there. There we go. And then add your chicken base. 2 tablespoons will do you just nicely. And then last, we're going to add our sour cream or yogurt if you're using yogurt. And watch this stuff just really just come into a nice suitable thickness. Look at that, it's getting thicker as it is right now. And now you're getting a nice color to your sauce when you add the chicken base or chicken bouillon. Depends on what you have at your disposal. Both will do the job just nicely. And you might want to scrape along because your sauce will cling to the edges of your skillet. But this will be really, really nice chicken tetrazzini. There we go. Alright. Okay. So, next what we want to do is put our chicken down over our noodles. Okay. There we go. And just kind of even that out too, as long as you got enough chicken to go around. And that should be plenty. And then, while we're thinking about it, we're going to add our 2 tablespoons of sour cream. Let's see. There's 1 tablespoon. Oof, splatter. I didn't want to do that. There we go, there's 2. 2 tablespoons of sour cream, mix that in. And this will bring your sauce to a nice cream. And this will make it nice and creamy and give it that one unique flavor. And if you so wish, you can taste it before it goes over your chicken to make sure that you have everything in order. Maybe you might want to add some more black pepper. Maybe you might want to add some salt, because you are working with a flour roux. I'm just going to take it from the spoon here. Whew. But that's good. That's perfect. You don't want to add anything else to it because the chicken base gives it its flavor. But, you know what? The spice is perfect too. I don't need to add anything to it. That's wonderful. That is so wonderful. And don't forget, of course, your Parmesan cheese. Now we're going to add about 2 tablespoons here too. So we're going to mix in 2 tablespoons worth of our Parmigiana.
That'll thicken it too.
Oh yeah, that'll thicken it, make it nice and cheesy, give it a nice cheesy flavor, and we're going to add more Parmesan over the top of it when we're done spooning it. So you really want to reserve some of this, but if you're a cheesy kind of guy like I am, you'll want to add more Parmesan cheese on the top. But you're going to want to add this just before you pull it, or if you're using this kind of cheese and it doesn't really matter, you can throw this on top. But if you're using fresh Parmesan cheese, you might want to wait about 5 to 10 minutes before you pull it out of the oven and just sort of let the cheese melt, but don't let it get too burnt. You don't want overcooked cheese over your tetrazzini. This is going to be some wonderful tetrazzini. And maybe a little more won't hurt it. Because I love this stuff. I think I only added like the 1 tablespoon and didn't add 2. But it's fine and dandy enough. There'll be plenty of cheese in there. And I believe this sauce is thick enough and ready to go over the top of our noodle and chicken. So we got our Kluski noodles. We put our chicken down on top of that. We made our roux in here, which is based off of butter and flour. And then we mixed in our peas and our mushrooms. We added in 2 tablespoons of sour cream, 2 tablespoons of chicken bouillon, 2 tablespoons of shredded Parmigiana. And that's the results. And of course you got salt and pepper and Old Bay to taste. Or if you didn't add any salt at all, add paprika. Since we're just going to pour it over, that'll be good. So Just pour it right over there. There we go. Kind of mix this around too a little bit too. Get the sauce to go everywhere too. You want to go from one side to the other side and kind of just spread that in. Make it spread, make it spread, make it spread. Got a lot of peas in there, but there we go. And make sure you get it all too, because there's going to be some that are going to be left behind in your skillet. And you want to make sure you get all of that sauce in there. As much as you can, so. There we go. Chicken Tetrazzini is almost ready. Now all we got to do, preheat the oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. 25. Thank you. All right. Just kind of give a once over here like this, like this. All right. Tetrazzini will be on like spam. Maybe you can add spam to this too, but I wouldn't really recommend it. You got plenty of chicken in here. Spam is only just going to counteract that flavor.
I'd say celery or...
celery would be good. Carrots would be good.
Yeah, celery or carrots would be what I'd add to it, if anything.
Oh, sure. Well, this is just the basics of putting together a good chicken tetrazzini. We can use a spoon too, because we're pretty much finished with the chicken and the noodles, and everything is now being blended together. Now the chicken is fully cooked. The peas and the mushrooms, since they're already canned and mostly already pre-cooked, but in some cases yes, in some cases no. Oh yeah, we're done with the bouillon, so we can put our chicken base away. And we need to get some more butter. We are all out of butter. Our Parmesan, since it's coming out of a can. And then later on we can probably add some more if we really wanted to. Get the butter up because it's just going everywhere. But yeah, we're needing a lot of Parmigiana, so, because like I said, we love our cheese. And a little bit over here got neglected. How can we let that happen? No! Do not neglect our chicken tetrazzini with any of this good stuff. So, when 15 minutes goes by, approximately, we're going to take a look at it and see how far we're coming along and see if your cheese is melted. And if you really want to, you could put other cheese on top of it, like cheddar or Colby or any kind of mixed combination of cheeses. You got your Italian cheeses, you got your Mexican cheeses, anything that you want over here. But we're sticking with the Italian tradition of chicken tetrazzini. And for this purpose, Parmesan does the trick. You can also add mozzarella to it, and we don't have mozzarella. I would actually suggest add mozzarella, but we don't have any. But since we do have canned Parmesan, that's better than no cheese at all. Yeah, we're needing to go to the grocery store, and as you can see, we have a whole list of things to get at the store, and hopefully that will be soon because we need some stuff. And also because next week's Cooking with SonicBlu is going to be very interesting. We're going to make cheeseburgers, but not just regular cheeseburgers. We're actually going to show you how to cook a sauce that'll go onto those burgers. And we have 3 different sauces that we're going to be trying out. So next week, burger sauces for your hamburgers or your cheeseburgers or bacon burgers or whatever kind of burgers you like to eat and enjoy. So yes, we are going to make some secret sauces for your burgers. What kind of sauces are they going to be? That's the big secret about it. You're going to have to wait till next week when we unlock those secrets and show you how to make a good, decent burger sauce. And I can't wait anymore. I'm sliding this guy in because it's warm enough. There we go. Chicken tetrazzini, and in about 15 more minutes we're going to pull that bad boy out and see how far along we're coming along and serve it up, because I'm hungry. I haven't eaten any dinner yet, and I'm really hungry. Plus, not to mention the fact that it's
11, almost, actually it's 12.
almost midnight.
It is, it's 12:18.
It's just past midnight then. It's 12:18. Now that we got this bad boy in the oven, what do you say we take a little bit of a breather? In about 15 minutes we'll check up on our chicken tetrazzini, and maybe as an extra added bonus, we do have other cheeses we can put on there. Put that up there. There we go. Let's see what kind of cheese we can muster up here. I do believe we have some Munster cheese. But that's not what we're talking about here. We got sharp cheddar. We have deluxe Americana. More sharp cheddar. Sharp white cheddar.
Gouda, I think that is.
And that is Gouda cheese. Ah, we got mozzarella.
Is it still good though?
Oh yeah. But it's the compressed mozzarella. So we might have to break this up. And that's not going to be much mozzarella though. That's just a little tiny bit. That's the Gouda cheese. And this is Bowsie's greens. Because she loves her dandelion greens really a lot. So I'm going to serve those to her tomorrow. I guess we'll just add some sharp cheddar over the top of that. Although, I think it would look nice if it was all white. For that purpose, we'll just use the white sharp cheddar cheese. Check back with us, and in about 10 minutes, we're going to put cheese on the top of that Tetrazzini. And I wish it was mozzarella, but it's sharp white cheddar. And then after we top it with cheese, we got another 5 minutes in the oven before we pull it out. The cheese will be melted just fine. And it's not going to be too overdone, too underdone. 5 minutes in the oven for melting the cheese, and you got yourself a winning chicken Tetrazzini. So join us for all of that in about 8 to 10 minutes. And we'll show you the next step. It's bubbling up. And as such, I think we're ready to cheese it. So we'll take this out for the moment, and look at that. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We're going to add some cheese on the top of that because the top of that is coming out really, really good. So we are ready to add more of this cheese over the top because we are going to make this the cheesiest, the gooeyest chicken Tetrazzini you ever want to see. And it will be so good, you'll want more and more. Alright, now let's get this back in the oven, 5 more minutes, let the cheese melt, and then we'll have us some chicken Tetrazzini. I'm excited. I'm real excited. Back in the oven you go. And you'll be cooking for 5 minutes. So join us in 5 minutes, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Let's take a look at how we're coming along, and whoa, 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 that almost slid right off. Wow. But we are ready to go, and look at that Tetrazzini. Doesn't that look good? Now, usually you let this cool off for a little bit, but I just want to dig right in and just see how well everything mixed and blended all together. You got your Klusky layer. Let me definitely want to grab one of these because you're dealing with something hot. And look at that. Ooh, and look at the sauce too. It just blended right in there. Perfect. So you take a good generous portion of that Tetrazzini out with a mixture of mushroom and peas and chicken and Klusky noodles. And if you want to, you can add Parmesan cheese on the top of this too, but you've already got plenty of cheese on top. So we're going to just let the rest of these ingredients kind of mix in amongst itself. But I think we've done a pretty decent job. I don't know, what do you think? Now, this is basically just the basic recipe of chicken Tetrazzini, but you can add more sauce, make a little more roux than you want to, just double up on your ingredients. So instead of 2 tablespoons each, you add 4 tablespoons each. Instead of a cup, you add 2 cups, and and so on and so forth. To add a nice color, we're going to just give in a pinch of parsley to go over the top of that, to give it a nice color to go over the top there. And there you have it, chicken Tetrazzini. It would be really interesting if you actually had a plate full of Tetris pieces here, but that ain't what this dish is all about. So try it at home and you will just see just how easy it is. But that plate's hot, so I'm going to grab a fork and try to brave this high temperature food because we just pulled it from the oven, and the only good way to enjoy it is hot. Now we're going to taste it. See, let's see, try not to burn myself. Okay. And now, we're going to try chicken Tetrazzini. Very cheesy. just the right combination of ingredients every time. But you might love it the traditional way, so try it and play around with it and see if you can actually make your own combination of tetrazzini just the way we have here. As long as you have the base ingredients, you got your Kluski noodles, you got your chicken, you got your peas, you can add other vegetables if you want to. We got our cheese, and we got lots and lots of mushroom, and well, you can add more mushroom, you can take away mushroom. You don't even have to have mushroom at all. You can add green peppers if you want to. You can add green onions if you want to. Anything is possible. For a chicken tetrazzini dish, I'd say this is pretty much a wrap. This is SonicBlu Darkfold telling you that you're in our kitchen for cooking with SonicBlu, and hopefully your dishes turn out just as amazing as this. And you know what I always say, if you're not cooking good, you're not eating good. And this is good cooking. Fantastic. We're going to add all of our seasonings to taste, so it's going to be Old Bay, ground black pepper, and paprika. You hear the expression being used, winner, winner, chicken dinner. Well, you're going to be winning a chicken dinner with this stuff, let me tell you. Who came up with that phrase anyway? Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I really don't know, but it is kind of catchy though. Of course, I've never been to Vegas and heard that before. I know a lot of people will say winner, winner, chicken dinner. I've never heard that being uttered in Vegas, and that's probably against the law. If you went into a casino and uttered that phrase, they're like, hey man, you're in Vegas, man, want to cut that out? This is a professional state here. We're in the middle of the desert and we're trying to win all of your money. Nothing more professional than that. Chicken dinner is gonna be made. And there goes the spoon. Might as well rinse that off too while I'm at it. We'll come back in a few. We'll check on our try that again. Oh, the sounds of the kitchen. Yeah, you can really come up with some really interesting sound effects when washing out a skillet as it bangs against something else that's metal. So yes, the lovely task of waiting for this thing to preheat. I want my tetrazzini. I wonder what I should do in the meantime. Oh, come on, spin that block around. Come on, put it. Oh man, I nudged it too far. Game over. Well, you know, if you're making chicken tetrazzini, might as well play Tetris. So come back in a few. We're going to check on our take two. Looks like you're trying to cook. I can help with that. Thank you, Clippy. That's not what I am. All I know, I'll help you with that. Well, what do you expect? It's a puppet show, it's a cooking segment on a puppet show. You gotta have puppets in the kitchen too. Only this one, it doubles as a oven mitt.